to the College Goods. My name is Ned Johnson, your host for our program about everything that you need to know to successfully transition from high school to college. Our goal will be to inform you, to help you keep up to date and not miss deadlines, and most importantly, to be a little bit entertained as you make this important step from high school into college. Well, the PSAT is the preliminary SAT. It's practice for the SAT. Now, it also happens to be the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, which means that, and you've probably heard about National Merit, to get National Merit, to qualify for it, you have to get a certain score on the PSAT in your junior year. Now, you may have heard about this as a sophomore. It doesn't do any good if you're not born in the U.S., but to be qualified, you have to be a junior American citizen and get a good score on the PSAT. For those of us who don't get National Merit, how does the PSAT matter? It's practice. Practice. It's really the best opportunity that students have to take something that looks awfully like the SAT under real proctor conditions, so the stress level is kind of like what's on the real SAT, or the scores don't matter. You'll get the scores back, your high school will get the scores back, and if you get a great score, terrific. If you get a score that's like, it's not good for you, nobody has to know about this. The SAT is the test that actually matters for college admissions. So that's one where don't just go take it. Do some practice. Take a practice test. Talk to your guidance counselor. Have a sense of where you're going to be, where you're going to score when you actually take that. PSAT just practice. It's great feedback. If the scores, however you do, good, bad, or ugly, it gives you a sense of where things are really where they need to be and what you need to work on. So apart from National Merit, which is roughly 1% of the kids taking it, 0.5% really of the kids nationwide taking it, for the other 99.5% of us, PSAT is just practice. Is there such thing as a bad studier? Yeah, a bad studier is someone who doesn't get the outcome that he desires or does it in an impossibly inefficient way. From my perspective, if you're killing yourself to do more than what's necessary, you want to be asking yourself why. Now, if your interest is really in learning the material well, then spending more time to really master that content makes a lot of sense. But to be fair, some people are really engaged in their classes to really learn the material, to understand it well, and some people just want the grades. For some people, it's a combination of the two. Philosophically, I think that our time and attention should be spent on learning the material because that arguably is going to have more meaning for us over time. But at a practical nuts and bolts level, if there's certain grades that you feel that you need to have for whatever reason, then your interest should be in how do I get those grades, in my opinion, in a way that is efficient. So we really want to look at being efficient in our studying, know what our goal is, and constantly asking ourselves, is there a better way to do this? Be intense, be efficient, get it done, get the job done, move on, and go play Xbox.
Clandestine, kept secret, especially because illicit. Incredulous, non-believing. Clandestine credulous, being secretly skeptical.
It's difficult to find a small, traditional, liberal arts college smack dab in the middle of the city instead of in the middle of nowhere. But that's exactly what you have with Loyola University, Maryland. Loyola University is a Catholic school of the Jesuit tradition, which means it has a pretty traditional curriculum, a core curriculum full of general requirements that everyone has to take before they graduate, no matter what they're studying. It also has a strong tradition of community service. More than half of the students there are involved in some type of community service before they graduate as well. Loyola University is a small school. It's under 4,000 students, and the classes are capped at 35 students. So if you're looking for a small class size, this is a great option. There is no Greek life there, and there's a strict alcohol policy. So much of the social life is actually off campus in Baltimore, which is where it's located. But there's plenty of stuff on campus too. For example, the tradition of midnight breakfast, which is a free breakfast from midnight to 2 a.m. every weekend. The big sports on campus are lacrosse and soccer, and plenty of students come to watch those games. For admissions, students apply to either arts and sciences or the schools of business or education. And there are about 10,000 applications for every 1,000 spots open, so it's a pretty selective school. It's one of the schools that's test optional, which means you do not have to send SAT scores or ACT scores if you don't want to. But if you choose not to send those scores, Loyola will ask for an additional letter of recommendation. So if you're looking for a small school with all the amenities of a major city, Loyola University is a great option to add to your college list.
People here are so nice. I love my classes. I feel like I'm learning so much. It's just like such a good environment and I'm having so much fun. You had your orientation group and your orientation group was your Messina class. So I did like so much stuff with my Messina class. And then every like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there were like events on campus. So like Thursday night we had a hypnotist show and then like midnight snack and like Saturday night we had casino night. I don't remember what was Friday or Sunday, but they just had like events all throughout the day and the majority of them weren't optional. But even the ones that weren't that were optional, I went to just because they were fun and you like met new people, so it wasn't bad. So I did a pre-fall program, which is basically I moved in a week early. And then my group was really small. It was 13 people, and it was a program called Student Orientation to Service. Um, so we did like service for 4 days, and I've been really close with that group of people, and they're just like so grounded and I don't know, are not they're just like selfless people and they're some of like the funniest and nicest people I've ever met. Even the people I'm not really friends with, like they're so nice. Like someone will just stop me just asking me how I am or like someone will like sit down with you in the cafeteria if you're like sitting by yourself and they're always just like really nice. The main one on campus for freshmen is Flannery. And it's incredible. It is like H-style dorms and they're massive. So I'm in Hopkins Court, the only freshman dorm on this side, which is like across the road and over a bridge. But it's really nice. I think my dorm is actually pretty big. Only thing I don't love is we have communal bathrooms, but the situation is kind of weird. It's communal bathrooms, but each bathroom is like only one stall. So it's like a shower and a toilet. So I'm sharing the one stall or like the one bathroom with 6 girls. And it usually is 2 showers and 2 toilets for 8 girls. My RAs who expected to be like horrible are so nice and they like will like sit and talk to you about like the TV shows you like. We already had like 3 or 4 different programs for the floor. And they're talking about doing like a family style dinner one night. They just like really look out for us. Well, Loyola actually has this really weird thing called Move Week, where you're allowed to move rooms without any questions asked. So right now it's not a problem because anyone who had problems just moved. I think it's kind of strange. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I haven't heard of any since Move Week. So basically you have the Move Week and like they'll send out a list of the rooms that are open and like the people who are in it. And you can move to any of those rooms. And then, yeah, it's like no questions asked. So you take 4 and then one of them is your Messina, which is required. And your Messina is your living learning community. So basically you can pick your Messina and it's like a pairing. So I'm in philosophy and effective writing. So I'll be taking effective writing next semester. So like you have your core 4 and then philosophy is part of my core, but I don't know, that's the reason you take 5. My professors are great. I take 5 classes, so my favorite 2 are probably philosophy and English, and the professors in those are just like so engaged. I think that's just like the best word to describe them. They're all super engaging. There's a lot of reading. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like challenging. I'd say the hardest part is like, I mean, you can read stuff but not really read it. So I think that's the hardest part. I mean, like, it's a manageable amount of work, but if you're really gonna pay attention and like do well, I'd say it's kind of a lot. There are 2 main cafeterias, Boulder and Iggy's. Boulder is the main one. Like I said, there's like a bridge that divides campus. It's on North Charles Street. So Iggy's is on my side of campus and Boulder's on the other side. The food is actually way better than I was expecting, but there's like basically no variety. We have like a boar's head kind of thing, so it's like pasta, sandwiches, salads, and then dessert. Loyola's D1, so I'd say it's pretty. The athletes are pretty intense. We don't have a football team, so a lot of people like going to sports games isn't big at all. I've heard it gets bigger during basketball and lacrosse season. Basketball and lacrosse are our big sports. Um, I have, yeah. As for like going to games and stuff, haven't done that. Haven't even like really heard about it. Um, a lot of people do like intramurals or go to the FAC, which is the Fitness and Aquatic Center. And the Fitness and Aquatic Center is like ranked second for best like gym in the country. Yeah. So a lot of people will go there. I see a lot more people like working out than I do like see playing sports. I would say Friday night I see like more people on campus, and then Saturday night like everyone's gone. A lot of people go to Towson. I would say Loyola's a little bit quiet on the weekends. We don't have Greek life or anything like that. I feel safe on campus. I walk home by myself Saturday nights at like 2 in the morning, just like to get back to my dorm, and I don't love it, but I feel fine doing it. Like I'm not worried something's gonna happen. They have campus police you can call if you feel unsafe when you're walking, and then they have a student escort service that you can call. I just never have. How much time I have, I think. Yeah. It's weird. I'll spend like 2 hours at dinner just talking to my friends. Um, and I didn't think I had time for that. I think in high school I was always so stressed out, like feeling like I wouldn't have time. Like I would just go home straight after school and do my homework because I didn't really think I had time to do anything else. And then here I'm a little more relaxed, go out to dinner, or go to the poster fair, or just like hang out in my friend's dorm, or go to the FAC. And I think that has really surprised me. I kind of wish I knew more about Messina, the living learning community, because I just knew you like live and learn together. That doesn't make sense, but I knew that you lived with the people who were in your class, but I didn't know about all this extra stuff. Like we go out and do programs together. Like my professor took us to the farmers market the other day. We're going to Hamlet tonight. We're all going out to dinner together tonight. And I just feel like that would have eased a lot of my anxiety because like Messina does really help like get you prepared going into your first week of school because you already know your professor, you already know your classmates, you already have like a group of like 20 people that is like built in. And I feel like if I knew all that, I would be a lot less anxious going into school. And they make it such a big part of Loyola that they should like explain it more.
While many of our students come into our offices in the Washington, D.C. area to meet with us face-to-face for tutoring or educational planning, here at PrepMatters, we also work remotely with students all over the world. This is a great option that allows you to receive our high level of individualized and customized service, even if you're not local to the Washington, D.C. area, or if you're at boarding school, studying abroad, or out of town at a summer program or on vacation. We've worked with students everywhere, from New York to California, from South America to the Middle East and Asia. And even if you are local to the DC area, working remotely can cut down on your commuting time or allow you to fit in a tutoring or a counseling appointment into a busy schedule, or deal with a bad storm, a traffic jam, a snow day, or any other extenuating circumstance that might otherwise prevent you from coming into an office. So if working from the comfort of your home, wherever in the world that may be, sounds like a good option for you, don't hesitate to contact us and see how we can help.
Lurid, presented in vividly shocking detail. Idiomatic, appropriate to the mood or context. Luridiomatic, appropriately inappropriate.
Binge watching, the act of watching many, or many, episodes of a single series in succession. The word has been around since the early 1990s, but the flood, the figurative binge of binge watching, started in 2013 when Netflix, followed by other companies, released entire seasons of a show on a single date. We asked over 100 college students, what's your current most bingeable show? Taking the top 5, we have The Walking Dead, New Girl, How I Met Your Mother, Criminal Minds, and in the number 1 slot, The Sons of Anarchy. So judging by all this, if I wanted to create the most bingeable show, all I need to do is combine these, and I would have a smorgasbord of television. It would be a touching but violent post-apocalyptic love story told via flashbacks about a young, adorable dream girl moving in with 3 dysfunctional motorcycle anarchists as they try to understand the villainous minds of the recently risen undead. With the rest of our top 10 list being made up of shows like The Blacklist, House of Cards, and American Horror Story, it would seem that blood, guts, and bad guys keep people at their televisions more than laughter. This is especially true if you count that How to Get Away with Murder, about 4 law students getting away with, well, murder, has already been declared bingeable after just 1 episode. And to prove that old shows are just as worth gorging ourselves on as new ones, we here at the College Goods would like to give a special shout out to The Nanny, Golden Girls, and Murder, She Wrote for making our list. If you have a favorite bingeable show that we haven't mentioned here, send us it in our comments. We'd love to hear from you.
So thanks for joining us here on the College Goods. As we said, we're so interested in helping you be successful in this transition from high school into college. As FDR said, we can't build a future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future.
It would mean a lot to us if you left us a comment. Not everything, but a lot. It would mean a little to us. Please do.